Operation status quo. Operation status quo. Prepare to engage. Operation status quo. Ready to engage. Operation status quo. Engaged. Engaged. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Wednesday. It's Happy Wednesday. It's a Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to you. Isn't that beautiful? Like to come on and just sing to the people. That's like I'm just giving you my heart right from the get-go here on Operation Status Quo because that's what we do here each and every day, ladies and gentlemen, that we're here on Operation Status Quo. I'm trying to get here to do my show, and my little kitty cat today is very rambunctious and wants a lot of attention, and which is a beautiful thing, actually. I'm always happy to see him happy and running around and having a good time. But I had to give him a nice little pet session, ladies and gentlemen. So if you need a pet session, let me know. I'll come see you. I'm a good petter. Hey-o. I'm just playing, of course. Anyway, saying something like that in today's world, especially with the woke culture, would make me look like some sort of serial rapist, I guess, right? I mean, that's what that would translate into woke language. You know, it's like when you have Ebonics and you translate English into Ebonics, you know, so you can learn how to talk jive or all that. Remember talking jive? Remember the old movie? Where am I going with all this? My brain, I'm so sorry. But the movie Airplane, remember Airplane when they were talking jive on the plane and with the black guys, and the woman had to translate the jive, and she could speak jive. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I guess that's kind of where Ebonics came from, and now we have to be able to translate normal, rational conversation into woke language, right? So that we can try to communicate with some of the woke folk out there. Oh, my goodness. All right. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Do I ever? All I know is that I'm Pete Palma. I'm your user-friendly host right here on Operation Status Quo. Welcome. Thanks for being here. This is the place where we observe the status quo of life. We learn to flow with the status quo of life, and then we create our own flow of quo. Because that's the only way to go. So, you know, if you've been here for a while, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. You know how it goes here on the show. Basically, it's all kind of just up in the air, what we're going to talk about and what we're going to do, how it's going to play out. Each episode is an entity unto itself, ladies and gentlemen. And that's basically how it goes. And remember, the main point of why I'm here each day speaking is not to be pounding fist on the table and getting rah-rah all worked up. It's really just about remembering that the world is what it is out there, and how much power we have to control what goes on within our own lives, and to make our lives what we want them to be individually best for us type thing. You understand what I'm trying to tell you out there? All right. So, we have to not get worked up, all this stuff going on in the world. It's funny, even with, I'm not going to get into the Israel thing, but, it's interesting. It's so deep, it's so deep because, I know obviously talked about this but yesterday, but just to say quickly of, all the different theories of like who's really in control of what, and, the actual scenarios that are going on in comparison to what they try to tell us on, mainstream TV of what the story is. And it's just really interesting and deep. And ultimately, the people, I would say this, the people of any country, are always the ones that wind up getting hurt and caught in the middle and suffer and everything. But I do think bigger things are at play here, because we are moving into a new world, and the old world has to be, dismantled, as it were. And that doesn't mean Israel's bad. I think, I don't think Israel is bad. I think the powers that be, like the Rothschilds and such that own the area, basically, they're bad, okay? And they use, anyway, it's manipulation any which way you want to cut it. And hopefully whatever's happening, whatever the real truth is, I believe it's moving towards, freedom and peace for everybody. So we just got to get there. We just got to stay positive. And the truth is, we make our day what we want it to be anyway. So just choose, to feel happy in your heart, even when the world's going crazy out there. That's all you have to do, and everything will be fine. That's how I like to live my life, and that's how I would encourage you, or at least invite you or suggest to you to maybe try to do the same as it works for you. Okay, let's not get all crazy on things. So today is the 11th of October in the good year 2023. And today's program is entitled Sweet Little Lies. Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Tell me lies, tell me lies. All right, that's another song. Remember that one? Yesterday I sang War, What Is It Good For? Today I have Sweet Little Lies. Maybe I should start each show with a song. If you like that, let me know. Drop it in the comments and I'll be happy to sing for you. But anyway, listen, you know how I feel generally that our mainstream structure and everything is a lie, basically. Anyway, but I found, I like to troll, as it were, the mainstream news sites, and because they always have these goofy little articles and suggestions and signs of this and tips on that and blah blah blah. Anyway, I found this little thing here talking about the biggest lies ever told in human history, and obviously this article is to debunk those lies. But I read through a couple of them quickly, and I'm not sure if they're actually lies, but I just think it's funny, because again, mainstream propaganda news is, geared towards, always shunning other thought processes instead of the mainstream narrative. You're just like dismissed if you don't even, especially for example, like a conspiracy, something that's considered a conspiracy. Well, let's just say, for example, the election, where Trump actually won, right? But if you say that the election was stolen, it's not even a question that you could be a rational person with, an opinion or there's any truth to it. It's just, you're an election denier. You're a domestic terrorist, and just so they've created this environment, through these different narratives that they put out and blast into your brain as like the mainstream. This is what the official word is, and it gets to a point where it's able to divide population to the effect of, even if you have a thought on the other side of something, it's easy to, that's just a conspiracy. I just saw an article yesterday about saying that there's proof that the moon, but I don't believe in the moon landing, right? But at the same time, now they have this article out saying that the boots from the space outfit from the landing on the moon, the bottom of the boots don't match the footprints of the pictures that were taken on the moon. And they're saying, but it's funny that it even comes out, because this is something that's been talked about really since it happened, the moon landing. A lot of people out there have always believed it was not real, and it's that information has resurfaced a lot over the last couple of years that I've noticed. And now all of a sudden there's an article online talking about the spacesuit at the Smithsonian, and that it doesn't match up with with what went on the moon and blah blah blah. So it's nice to see that at least the idea of it is coming out, and that's why I look at this mainstream shit, because I like to see what they're putting out relative to the things that I look at on the other side and how they explain those items. And so I find it quite amazing that little portion is coming out about the moon thing, especially right, even with all the aliens and stuff now. So anyway, because the population has to be woken up and made aware of some of these things, but it's got to be done like in this kind of little by little, kind of just hold you by the hand and guide you there kind of way, because too much information for most people is not good. They can't handle it. So, but anyway, let's get into this, ladies and gentlemen. Some of the biggest lies told in human history, and let's see what we got here on the docket for that today. First of all, just to remind you, if you're here with me live on the chat, live on the live stream, that is, feel free to comment in the chat and let me know what's going on and what you're doing out there. And what else? Please like, subscribe, share, all that kind of thing. Let's grow this community and keep it going, because we're having a good time. I know I'm having a good time, and if you're here and you're actually sitting here and paying attention to this, then you got to be having a good time too, or you're just absolutely totally bored and have nothing better to do with your time. Okay, here we go. So, and this is the reason I picked to do this today, because the number one thing they have on this list is of the biggest lies told in human history is that the Earth is flat. And I just thought that was hilarious, because last week doing the show talking about the flat Earth, it turned into a little bit of a thing with my friend Tom out there a little bit, and then I wound up having Mr. N on a couple days later. He wanted to talk about it, and so I just find it interesting that And it says here, for centuries, one of the most enduring lies was, and that says it was, right? I just remember how they word things. This is mainstream media, okay? For centuries, one of the most enduring lies was the belief that Earth was flat. This misconception persisted for millennia, with ancient civilizations like the Greeks and Romans contributing to its perpetuation. And I just, just say what they're saying. Greeks and Romans perpetuating it, contributing to it. Like, well, why? Maybe they knew something, Anyway, it wasn't until the scientific advancements of the Renaissance period that this myth was finally debunked, thanks to explorers like Magellan and blah, 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 who proved the Earth is a spherical planet. So I'm not going to go down the road. You know how I feel about that. I always say I can't prove exactly what it is. All I know is it's not what they say it is. And I think there's plenty of proofs out there to or at least items out there where we can question the validity of what they're talking about, that we're spinning at so many miles an hour, hurtling through space, and the sun is 93 million miles. Like, I saw somebody, just saying the sun. They say the sun is 93 million miles away. And there's one of these chat groups that talks about flat Earth that's on Facebook, and they seem more towards chastising people that believe the Earth is flat. But that's fine. But somebody had put up something about the Earth, the sun being 93 million miles away. Growing up, I always thought, wow. I remember I used to look at the sky and go, it's so crazy. Like, there's that sun. It's right there, but it's 93 million miles away. And now I look up and I look at it and I go, that sun's right there. There's absolutely no way it's 93 million miles away. I mean, just literally look at the sun in the sky and say to yourself, is that thing 93 million miles away? I mean, that's all I'm saying. But okay, so one of the biggest lies in human history is that the Earth is flat. I'm sure they're going to have to redo this article at some point once the truth comes out. The Trojan horse, I don't know about this one exactly, but you know the story of the Trojan horse, a legendary deception from ancient Greek mythology that has a popular tale for centuries. The story goes that the Greeks built a massive wooden horse as a gift to the Trojans during the Trojan War, only to hide soldiers inside who attacked Troy from within. In reality, the Trojan War is believed to have taken place, but the Trojan horse itself likely a fictional addition to the narrative. And I just wonder why they want to shut that story down. Like, to me, anything that's in this type of article that they're trying to tell you is a lie is a truth, and they're trying to convince you that it is a lie, which is funny to me. So I'm not really sure why they want to try to debunk the Trojan horse thing. But what is interesting, that I'm reading this right now, and I do find this interesting, is that what do they say? They say, the Greeks hid inside and attacked Troy from within, once they climbed out of the horse, right? And it's kind of interesting because that's what's going on in the United States right now. They're leaving the borders open. So all these people, quote unquote, migrants from other countries, but are actually soldiers that are building their groups here in the United States for the chaos. Okay, so it's kind of the same thing. It's like our border is like the Trojan horse now, because we just let everybody through and, just kind of come on in and infiltrate. What do you guys need? You need some guns? What do you want? We give it to you, you want people's, codes for their front doors? You can just go in and whatever you need, All right, anyway, so the Trojan horse, ladies and gentlemen, if you're interested in that one, look it up. Here's another one, the Roswell UFO incident, right? Now, we all know about the Roswell UFO incident, 1947. It's an alleged UFO crash near Roswell, New Mexico, led to a sensational claims of extraterrestrial contact. The U.S. military initially reported the crash as a flying disc, but later revised the story, attributing to a weather balloon. Conspiracy theories, of course, here we go again. Conspiracy theories and speculations abound, with some still believing that the government covered up evidence of alien life. However, no conclusive proof of extraterrestrial involvement has ever emerged. I mean, this thing was just written, this list, like not long. These people who put this together see what's been going on. Like, hasn't there been like testimony on Congress from people in the Navy or Air Force or whatever talking about all their encounters with the extraterrestrial aircraft and such? There's plenty of people who've come out and spoken on Roswell, and that it was pretty much true. And now, I mean, maybe it was government technology or something, but I don't know. I think it's the other way around. I'm not really sure how much I believe in the alien thing anymore either. That's the thing. I always before believed in aliens. And I'm not saying aliens don't exist. I just mean I think it's different than in the way that they say it. Sometimes I think the aliens are actually just future versions of us, because as humanity grows and progresses with the technology, we're able to, manipulate time and space differently and come back, and maybe we evolved into different ways of looking. I also think of, our world, obviously, and everything is just one energy. So there's like a lot of multi-dimensional crap going on. So, I'm not really sure how it plays out, like as far as aliens per se, but definitely something going on out there. And I think it's funny that, of course, here they want to make sure that does not seem like it's true, even though they've been talking about it so funny, like no conclusive evidence. They're showing on the news like all the time, like these. I mean, whether they're real or not. I mean, like you got to say, well, they should at least say something in there. Like recently, something's come up that there may be something. I don't know. It's so crazy. Let's see. What was this one? I never heard of this one. I don't think. The Piltdown man hoax. Oh, is it Piltdown? Here we go. I gotta. With these eyes, the Piltdown, the Piltdown man hoax. In the early 20th century, a purported archaeological discovery shocked the scientific community. It was the Piltdown man, an alleged missing link between apes and humans. It was hailed as a major breakthrough in understanding human evolution. However, in 1953, it was revealed that the Piltdown man was a forgery constructed from a human skull and an orangutan's jawbone. The deception set back the study of human evolution and serves as a cautionary tale for scientific scrutiny. So I really don't know too much about that. I did hear about the missing link thing, some years ago or whatever, but I don't believe in that either because I don't believe in evolution the way they say, it's not like an amoeba turned into a lizard that turned into a bird and then there was a gorilla and now here I am. It doesn't work that way. It's not how it is. I'm not going to get into the depth of all that because I'm not here to go down those kind of roads today, but just remember, just take it back to the simple point of remembering. If you learned it in school, it's a lie. Except for maybe 1 + 1 is 2. I mean, that is true, I guess, right? As far as we understand. Weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. In the lead up to the Iraq War in 2003, the U.S. government, led by President George W. Bush, asserted that Iraq possessed weapons of mass destruction and posed a grave threat to global security. The claim was used to justify military intervention. After the invasion, no significant evidence of weapons of mass destruction were found, leading to accusations of misinformation and deception. The Iraq War remains a controversial and divisive chapter in modern history. And this is obvious. Of course, there were no weapons of mass destruction, just like there were no planes. The whole thing was a setup. It's always about getting the oil, and all that type of thing. That's probably even with, Israel going on now. It's always about oil and money and power and control, oil and money and power and control. That's all that's going on out there. But we know there were no weapons of mass destruction. There was just a good excuse to go over there and have some people killed so they can take what they want to take and keep us in a debt-based slave system, because that's the beauty of America, the guise of America. Okay. Oh, here we go. I was talking about the moon landing right before I started this list and the Apollo moon landing hoax. But of course, they're saying this is one of the biggest lies, right? These are the biggest lies told in human history. Some conspiracy. Here we go again with the conspiracy. Some conspiracy theorists. I love how they say that, right? Just please notice when I read these things, that's the programming that they put in, to control the mind. Like, because you read something like that and it already sets somebody to the point of like, oh, well, obviously this is a conspiracy theory, so, it's just so crazy. They never talk about anything objectively. It's just one way. It's just got to be this way, Some conspiracy theorists have propagated the idea that the U.S. government staged the Apollo moon landing. Yes, they did during the 1960s and 70s. They argue that the missions were filmed on Earth. They were. I think they were done like in Arizona or something. Yo, Mr. N's on the line. I should at least finish my thought before I jump to the chat. Hold on, let me finish my thought, then I'll jump to the chat. Anyway, they argue that the missions were filmed on Earth to bolster American prestige during the Cold War. However, the claim has been repeatedly debunked. It's been debunked. It says it right here. It's been debunked. Of course, don't be an idiot. Of course we went to the moon. Of course we did. You know what I'm saying? It's just so crazy. let's see. There's extensive scientific evidence and eyewitness accounts confirming the authenticity of the moon landings. Yeah, like the guys that they paid to say that they were there that weren't. I mean, what like eyewitness accounts? Oh my gosh, scientific evidence. That's the funny part too. You know. Oh my gosh. Hey, Mr. N. Like Mr. N says, conspiracy theorists are the worst, right? I go, oh yeah, we're the worst, Mr. N. That's for darn sure. Then Mr. N also says. We're going to normalize conspiracy. Complicity theories. Yeah, complicity. You're a complicity theorist instead of a conspiracy theorist. Well, you know, Mr. N, I'll tell you what, and I appreciate your comments as always. But we do know for sure that when these truths come out, there's going to be a lot of people that are probably going to be ashamed to even talk to people like us, you know, like my buddy Tom, when he realizes that we never went to the moon and the sun and the moon are the same size and the earth possibly, I don't want to, you know, be too demonstrative, but is well, a little, I'm not going to say flat, but definitely not what we think it is, all right? Blah, blah, blah. So once these people find this out, I wonder how they'll react. That's what I really would like to know. I really can't wait to see, like, when enough information comes out, you know, how people react. Like this goofy thing here saying, you know, that trying to say, oh, conspiracy theory, moon landing, you know, oh my gosh. And, you know, hey, people, not for anything. You can go back and look at the equipment they were using on the moon. I mean, and just think about, like, the viability of like, you think that little rover thing is up in space driving around on the moon? I mean, it just makes no sense, right? I mean, the technology, it looks like a golf cart. There's some kind of like, you know, what do you call them? Like a quad or, you know, some kind of vehicle like that they kind of put together, and they put you know, some kind of mirror or I don't know panel on it. I don't know. It's really laughable for sure. Okay, let's see here. What's next? And Mr. N says, I'll have you know these were IKEA's highest quality curtain rods. That's right. They used IKEA. It was IKEA. IKEA sponsored the IKEA sponsored the landing on the moon, ladies and gentlemen. It was all done with IKEA stuff. So another biggest lie they say here in human history is the Salem witch trials. Now I don't know. You know, again, you know, I've heard of this obviously, but why they would say this never happened, I'm not sure. But I mean, it seems like it happened. I hear a lot of stuff that, you know, I don't know depths about it. But they're saying this is one of the biggest lies in human history. And it was in 1692, the small town of Salem, Massachusetts, was gripped by hysteria as accusations of witchcraft spread like wildfire. The trials resulted in the execution of 20 individuals, most of them women. The underlying lie was the belief in supernatural forces and the idea that innocent people could be witches. The trials were later recognized as a grave miscarriage of justice and remain a dark chapter in American history. So, you know what? I think about this in two ways, because maybe they were like maybe these women or whoever it was with the Salem witch trials, maybe they were members of, like, you know, the satanic cabal, you know, that's running our world today. And maybe these people knew it and killed them, you know, and they want to make it like it was a bad thing, because obviously witches can't exist, you know, but witches do exist, right? In a sense, because these satanic bastards that are running our world, they exist. It's the same type of thing. Yo, Evaporated Bear, how you doing out there, my friend? Great to see you here on the live chat. By the way, Evaporated Bear, I mentioned you in my show yesterday. I wanted to thank you for, recently, finding my channel and checking it out and, dropping some comments. I definitely appreciate that. And I was curious, if you could, I would love to know, how you found my channel. And, if you haven't subscribed, I'm trying to get just a few more. Can you do it? Can you click the button if you haven't? Just maybe click like once in a while. I keep teasing people with that because, I guess it would be nice to see numbers go up, but I don't really care about the numbers. Just you being there is really what matters. And as long as you're seeing it, Evaporated Bear says that the show found him. Okay, well, I guess, it's the universe bringing us together in the way it should be done. So I'm glad that it found you, and I'm glad that you're here. And listen, Evaporated Bear, as I always say, I love having guests and people. If there's anything you ever want to share and like to be on the show, don't be shy. Let me know, and we can set that up for you. So yeah, the Salem witch trials. I don't know about that. I started sharing. Oh, you started sharing some of my episodes. Well, great. Thank you. Look at that. Let me give a round. First of all, I got to stop right now and give a round of applause for Evaporated Bear, who's sharing some of my shows. I think this deserves, ladies and gentlemen, the close cam. Yeah, hey, Evaporated Bear. I can't tell you how happy I am. I'm breaking out the close cam for you, my friend. More applause for Evaporated Bear. Yeah, I know, it's awesome. Yes. All right, let's calm down. I get a little excited when people actually like something I do. I know, it's not funny. It's really not funny at all. It's a disgrace. All right, let me get back to my list here. We got the Salem witches. What do they say here, too, is another whatchamacallit, another lie, one of the biggest lies in human history, the Y2K bug. Now, I'm not sure, I mean, is it, first of all, it never made sense to me, like the whole world's going to shut down because the day changes and they didn't put an extra number, in the computer system. I mean, right? I mean, it just sounds ridiculous to begin with, but I mean, I guess it was a way to, I mean, obviously it was a way to get people to, buy a lot of shit and be worried and, I don't know, they probably had Y2K parties, As the year 2000 approached, fears of a global technological meltdown due to the Y2K bug swept across the world. The lie was that computer systems unable to handle the date change from 1999 to 2000 would fail catastrophically. Governments and businesses spent billions preparing for the worst. In the end, the Y2K bug proved to be largely exaggerated, with only minor disruptions occurring. Right. So, but that's what they do. They want to create hysteria in some type of way. They spent billions of dollars. When you look back, you wonder, what was that a guise for? Where were those billions of dollars really going, right? All right. Oh, my goodness. But these are the biggest lies told in human history. How many of them are lies? How many of them are not lies? We don't know. All we know, we're being told shit by mainstream media. So we have to be very careful in how we decide on that. The Loch Ness Monster, we have a few more here. So I'm just going to go through these quickly because we don't need to drag it out, right, ladies and gentlemen? But the Loch Ness Monster, we all know about the Loch Ness Monster. And they say basically there's no evidence, no concrete evidence of ever finding anything like this, and it is likely that the myth was perpetuated by hoaxes, misidentifications, and the power of folklore. Yeah, that's kind of like exactly what we see in our mainstream world today with governments and stuff. Everything that they tell us is like folklore, like what's going on in Russia and Ukraine, that's folklore. What's going on in Israel, it's folklore. What's going COVID, that was folklore. So that's pretty funny. Let's see what else we have. No, is there anything else? No, those are the last ones. All right, let me give a round of applause. That was it. Yeah, that was it. The other one was just another one repeating about the Trojan War. The one said the Trojan horse never happened, and this one said the Trojan War never happened. Which one's the lie, Oh my gosh. Ladies and gentlemen, it's so amazing out there when you think about the stuff they try to tell us, and just what, the importance of what it is to not get wrapped up in crap, right? And like what we really believe. And I just think there's so much more to, if you just like breathe and feel, it's you can just kind of get an idea. You find out what makes sense is all I'm saying. I mean, what's going on in today's world, it's obvious that it's out of control, perpetuated lies, trying so hard to keep their grip on humanity. That's, kind of, waking up and, the party's over. So it is what it is. So just keep on that path. Let's see here. Evaporated Bear said, there is a lot they still have to prove. Yes, the government. Yes. Well, there's a lot of proving going on, that's for sure. But I think things will be flipping, pretty nicely. Honestly, people always used to call me, whatever, a communist or an anarchist or I don't know, whatever, because I was never for the government. And it's not about like being against anything. I'm not against, the idea of like a body of people that work together to help, facilitate, a space for humanity to flourish, that's a great thing, But the way they used to do it before, before the career politicians, when our country first started, and who was the farmer and who was the this and who was the that, and they would just, take some time off and they would go serve, a little bit in the government, and then they come back to their plantation, and work on the farm. It wasn't like, this job. They created this whole job, and the government's just gotten out of control. I mean, even this is my last tangent before I get off, because I saw this too. They keep talking about these job numbers and there's so many more jobs in the country. And I'm like, yeah, but like I think like at least a million, I don't know, it's a crazy number of jobs are federal government jobs. So I mean, they're not even jobs. They don't exist. Where's the money coming from? Like, you're getting paid by the system that's creating the money. Like, there's no actual production. And then, so what's that mean? You hire 1 million people to do work for the government. So all the people who are working that are not in the government, you have to tax them more to sustain the workforce of the government that's not even doing anything. So, and I'm speaking from experience, ladies and gentlemen. You know that for those of you who've been with me for a while. So, anyway, it's just craziness out there. Tell me lies. Tell me sweet little lies. Tell me lies. Tell me lies. So anyway, that's what we do here on Operation Status Quo. I don't tell you lies. I try to expose the idea that we could think of things in a different way and just have some fun, right? Let's just not be so heavy. Let's have some fun. Let's know that shit's fucked up. I'm sorry to curse, but let's just know that shit's fucked up, all right? And let's just like deal with it and like create what we want to create and build a better life. That's all. Like, don't go forget Build-A-Bear. Remember not you, Evaporated Bear, but forget about Build-A-Bear. Let's do like build a life, okay? Build a life and get rid of all this mainstream commercialized nonsense and products and shit that we don't need. Just keep us spinning our wheels all the time. Like, it's a shame because I see so many people who are successful in their businesses and such, and they just they're always buying the next thing, another house or another car or a boat or this or that, and it's just like, it's just like you're just chasing and chasing and chasing. How much is enough? What's enough? Like, you don't even need that crap. Just imagine if you gave up all that crap. You can just live and just enjoy your life every day, right? Without the constraints and the confines of the weight of these possessions that you have to care for and worry about sustaining all the time. Like, I don't know, it's just a crazy concept, and that's the world they've built for us, right? Just this like commercialized, buy stuff, do stuff, look like this, dress like that, talk like this. It's like, no way. Let's see. Yeah, peace is the path. You got that right, Evaporated Bear, for sure. Gotta run. We'll chat on Telegram tomorrow. Build-A-Bear. He liked to Build-A-Bear comment. All right, hey, thank you, Evaporated Bear, for being here. You have a great one because I got to run too. This is the end of the line for me here today. But thank you guys for being here. Thanks for Mr. N on the chat. Thanks for Evaporated Bear on the chat. Love it. I love it having people on the chat to contribute. It really makes a difference in the presentation and all. It's really good stuff. So thank you guys for being here. If you haven't done so already, please take the time to like, subscribe, share, send this out to your friends, your family, those you love, and of course those you despise as well. I love each and every one of you individually as well as a group. And until tomorrow, Operation Status Quo disengaged.